The issue of statistics seems to be dominating today. There's been a quiet resignation that sent ripples through the corridors of Whitehall and beyond. So Ian Diamond, the United Kingdom's national statistician, has stepped down with immediate effect, citing ongoing health issues. At any other time, such a departure might warrant a polite paragraph on page 6, but not this time. So Ian leaves behind an Office for National Statistics under heavy scrutiny, battered by criticism, and facing a crisis of public trust. Now, he was appointed in October 2019. He was immediately plunged into the crisis management of COVID-19, made statistics a matter of life and death, in other words, and he helped steer the UK's data response, ensuring transparent, accessible public health statistics and, and shaping international admiration for Britain's pandemic data infrastructure. And yet, as the pandemic ebbed, the structural weaknesses in Britain's statistical machinery began to show. Gone was the wartime urgency. In its place came budget cuts, declining survey response rates, and growing disquiet from policymakers who suddenly found themselves relying on data they increasingly distrusted. And at the centre of the storm, the labour force survey, the UK's principal tool for measuring unemployment. Once a gold standard, it's collapsed under the weight of public disengagement and operational delay. And the regulator has been scathing. The data was no longer, quote, fit for purpose. The Bank of England officials said they couldn't use the figures. Even MPs on the Treasury Committee voiced alarm. Diamond promised a transformed survey, but not before 2027. And that lag, coupled with repeated revisions of economic estimates, left the public and policymakers alike unsure what to believe. But it wasn't just the data. An internal report this spring laid bare a culture of underinvestment, strategic missteps, and a worrying failure of leadership within the ONS itself. Staff said their concerns were ignored, projects collapsed, morale plummeted. Add to this an embarrassing delay in rolling out an online employment survey, criticisms over migration data, and a public row over gender identity statistics, and the picture becomes not one of unfortunate error, but of general dysfunction. So Ian's resignation, though framed by health concerns, cannot be separated from this gathering storm. And the Cabinet Office has already ordered a review, led by Sir Robert Devereux, into the ONS's leadership structure and performance. And now, Emma Rourke, Deputy National Statistician for Health, Population and Methods, will step in as acting chief. She inherits not only a troubled institution, but one under immense political pressure. Public trust in statistics has never been more fragile, and with inflation, migration, productivity and employment at the heart of every government decision, the stakes are extraordinarily high. Will the ONS reform or retreat further? Will it embrace transparency or recoil into defensiveness? These are no longer technical questions. They are questions of government and governance and policy. So, what ultimately is the lesson here? That even the most respected institutions can decay without proper oversight, that the independence of statistical bodies is not enough if their methods fall behind reality, that public confidence once lost is hardly possible to restore, is devilishly hard to restore. And so Ian Diamond was, by all accounts, a man of honour and diligence, but he leaves behind a battered institution in need of clear-eyed reform. In a world awash with misinformation, the ONS must be more than accurate, it must be authoritative. The numbers we rely on shape policy, budgets, interest rates, and lives. And if we cannot trust them, we lose more than economic clarity, we lose democratic coherence.